I was 10 the first time my mom tried to stop drinking. We had just moved to Gulf Shores, Alabama to be closer to my grandparents after my dad bailed. Mom made money playing gigs with her band, but then she started getting too drunk to remember songs. So she decided to quit, cold turkey. The night she quit, I lay in bed missing my dad. When I was upset, my mom would trace my back and recite this little poem. She went, X marks the spot with a dot, 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 and a dash, 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 and a great big question mark. Chills go up, chills go down, chills go all around. Give a breeze, and a... Suddenly, she collapsed on top of me. Her eyes rolled, her neck snapped back and forth. When she opened her mouth, half of her tongue dangled out. She'd bitten it off with all the thrashing. I calmly and politely freaked. I called my grandparents and they came and took her to the hospital. The doctor said it was a seizure caused by withdrawal. They stitched her tongue back together, but she'd have to go to rehab all summer. So I was sent to live with my aunt and uncle, who decided I'd go to sleepaway camp with my cousin Seth. There was just one problem. It was a Boy Scout camp, and I was far from a Boy Scout. I was a skater boy with freshly frosted tips, a passion for pyro, and a Blink-182 obsession. Cousin Seth whittled wood. For me to go to camp, my aunt and uncle would have to buy me a uniform and sew a bunch of badges I hadn't actually earned on the sash. It was the exact opposite of whatever badass is. But they told me I'd be fine, as long as I kept a low profile. Scout camp was how I imagined it. You sleep in a cabin and shit in a hole. Paradise. The first night, the counselors gathered us around the fire and told us the story of the legendary ghost critter that haunted the forest surrounding the camp. It glowed white and hovered above the ground and had a huge tail. They told us to never venture out past bedtime, or it would attack. Every morning we'd wake up at sunrise and salute the flag, then go to classes to earn badges. Mostly I'd just follow my cousin, desperately wondering when I'd get to shoot a bow and arrow. I remember playing softball with a kid whose mom required him to wear full body pads while playing any sport. Everyone at camp was obsessed with Austin Powers. Anytime something cool happened, a kid would yell, "Yeah, baby, yeah!" Gotta laugh every time. One night, about a week in, I was lying awake in my cabin when I heard a flicking sound. I snuck out and found a kid fucking around with a lighter. He had rigged it to make the flame go like a foot high. Now this was exciting. We weren't allowed to have lighters at camp. His name was Dale. Dale told me he had seen Austin Powers 2, the spy who shagged me, and did an impression of Fat Bastard, going, "I'm gonna eat that baby." It was the funniest thing I had ever heard in my actual entire life. He also told me his mom and dad had just gotten a divorce. I took a deep breath and confessed that I was not actually a Boy Scout. I was worried he'd turn me in. But Dale seemed relieved, like he had finally found someone he could be himself around. I felt that way too. By the time we went back to our cabins, it was 3 a.m. I complained about waking up early, and Dale said, "Why do you have to? You're not a scout. You're on vacation, man." Holy hell. Dale was cool. The next morning, I didn't wake up for the sunrise salute. I started wearing my pants real low, totally against protocol. No one said anything. I went to archery and finally shot a goddamn bow and arrow. I was not good at it. But for the first time since getting to camp, I was actually having fun. Soon, I found my greatest scout passion. GIMP. It's where you braid neon plastic thread together to make a keychain. I'm sure there's another use for it, but I don't remember them teaching that. Eventually, other kids were looking at me funny. Like, what the hell? Why was I so pro at GIMP? They got so suspicious they complained to the teacher, a 17-year-old with a completely unironic blonde mullet. I didn't want to get in trouble, so it was time to set the record straight. I told the class that I was not a real Boy Scout. My badges were fake, but it was chill because I got to do whatever I wanted. Hence my 4th gimp class that week. The other scouts did not take this as well as my boy Dale. By the time I got to my next class, word had spread like campfire that I was an imposter. Nobody would look at me, including my cousin. That night, I lay in bed trying not to think about my mom. I got up and walked to Dale's cabin. He was sitting outside like he was waiting for me. I knew kids were giving him shit because he was my friend. I had to get us out of there. I told him, I went to a sailing class once. Let's jack a boat and bail, dude. We were off through the woods, hopping over rocks and creeks, guided only by my flashlight. Suddenly, we heard the sound of leaves being blown by the wind, but there was no wind. It was like a weird slithering, but with wind. I'm bad at metaphor. I pointed the flashlight all around, and there it was, even bigger than they described, the glowing ghost critter. It was 8 feet long, with red eyes that stared into the depths of our souls. Dale tried to run, but I told him to stay still, or the ghost would suck our spirits out. It crept towards us slowly, long tail swinging. I stared into its dead eyes and thought, literally, who cares? What the hell do I have to go home to? Suck my spirit, you damn ghoul! As it came closer, we realized it wasn't just one big ghost, but a whole bunch of tiny ghosts, led by one medium-sized ghost. It crept even closer, revealing itself to be a skunk? An albino skunk. A mama skunk and her babies. Dale and I ran back to camp yelling, "We found the ghost! We found the ghost! We found the ghost! We found the ghost! The ghost! We found the ghost in the forest!" A few people crawled out of their bunks pissed. No one believed us, so we led them through the woods to the cave where the albino skunks were sleeping peacefully. A real happy family. The next day, I woke up to find Dale surrounded by a group of scouts. We told the story together. Everyone flipped out that the counselors had made the ghost thing up just to scare us. By the time we were done, it was like all the scouts forgot I had ever lied. I was one of them. There was one night left at camp. I told Dale we'd figure out a way to hang again. We just sat there, tossing the lighter back and forth, flicking it lit and unlit, watching the giant flame burn until it was out of fluid. Parents arrived in the morning. Dale's dad greeted him with a, "Yeah, baby, yeah." Just then, my mom walked through the crowd of dorky-looking parents, with a leather jacket and hot pink streaks in her hair. My mom drove 7 hours to come get me? My mom? She looked clear and young and happy. I hadn't seen her like that in a long time. I thought, maybe if she meets Dale's dad, they could fall in love and me and Dale could become brothers. Dale's dad looked wet, and my mom was really killing it, so it was a long shot. My mom snapped a photo of me in my scout uniform and said, "Let's go, baby." I said goodbye to Dale and my cousin. Never saw Dale again. On our drive home, my mom stopped at a gas station and asked if I wanted anything from inside. She told me, "I'm getting M&Ms. I'm addicted to M&Ms now. You don't have to worry about me anymore, okay? I'll be fine as long as there's M&Ms. Scout's honor." Years later, she would drink herself to death, but I didn't know that yet. In that moment, all I knew was that I loved her and she loved me, and that hadn't changed. I knew my dad was really gone, and I knew that sometimes things got less scary when you stared them in their beady red eyes. I asked my mom to get me a lighter.